Established in 1892 and independent since 1972, the Kentucky Kernel is a nonprofit student-run media outlet for the University of Kentucky.
The Kernel offers the most extensive media news coverage of UK's campus and the surrounding area.
On episode 7 of this digital magazine, we'll be featuring broadcast-style videos in order to catch you all up on all the things you may have missed out on so far this month.
On today's episode, you'll hear several stories, including Students for Life of America speaker Lydia Taylor Davis stopping on campus for her Make Gen Z anti-abortion tour, and Keeneland honoring first responders, military members, and healthcare workers at their Heroes Day during the fall meet.
We'll also show you all how Big Blue Nation is getting ready for the basketball season at the annual Big Blue Madness event, and how Lexington is getting into that Halloween spirit as people dance through the streets of downtown at the Thriller Parade. I'm Gavin Brunig.
And I'm Olivia White. And the Kernel Chronicles begins right now.
To kick off this episode, we're going to take a look at the event that kicked off homecoming here at UK. The Homecoming Block Party featured good food, good music, and even better company as UK alumni reconnected with campus and students swapped study time with sunshine. Reporter Cole Meserly takes us to the kickoff event that brought campus life outside the classroom.
University of Kentucky students gathered here at the Alumni Commons to celebrate the Homecoming Block Party, hosted by the Student Activities Board, Student Organizations and Activities, and the Student Alumni Association. The event kicks off a week of festivities for UK's Homecoming Week.
Students had the chance to enjoy live music, yard games, inflatables, and a selection of local food trucks. Jill Smith, the executive director of the UK Alumni Association, says the event is an opportunity for the students and alumni communities to intersect.
It's the 110th homecoming at UK, so that's pretty cool. It's one of our longest standing traditions at the university, and we look forward to welcoming alumni back to campus and also celebrating with our current students that are here, enjoying their time while they're current Wildcats on campus.
Elizabeth King, who is UK's 2024 Homecoming Queen, believes the event creates a sense of homecoming atmosphere and Wildcat welcome.
It's been a great celebration of just Wildcat fun, Wildcat pride.
The event was a chance for returning alumni to celebrate with current Wildcats while on campus.
A national anti-abortion campaign made its way to the University of Kentucky. On Wednesday, October 1st, Lydia Taylor Davis with Students for Life of America stopped on campus to talk with students as part of her Make Gen Z anti-abortion tour. Reporter Piper Renault has more on the story.
Here at the Gaddon Student Center, pro-life activist Lydia Taylor Davis is making her second stop on her Make Gen Z anti-abortion tour, bringing her message here to the University of Kentucky's campus. Lydia Taylor Davis, a spokesperson for Students for Life of America, brought her Make Gen Z anti-abortion campus tour to her second stop, the University of Kentucky. As part of the event, Davis spoke with and at times even debated students about abortion. Earlier in the day, students debated with her in Alumni Commons. Then, in the evening, she gave a speech on abortion and spoke with more students. Lydia talks about why Gen Z is her target audience.
And so we need to reach young people before the abortion industry does, because we're told that abortion is just choice in healthcare. I myself was once pro-choice because I was lied to, became pro-life because the truth is science is pro-life, abortion hurts women and women deserve better. So I'm here to spread truth and to convince Gen Z to be pro-life.
With abortion rights at the center of discussion, some students pushed back against Davis and her pro-life views. Students lined up to question her throughout the day, including Brooke Hartman, a sophomore digital media design major, who debated Davis both during the Alumni Commons tabling and later at her evening speech. Brooke talks about why she's passionate about abortion rights.
But I think that by taking away abortion rights, you're taking away a part of a woman and a part of a person who can be pregnant and give birth. You're taking away part of them and turning them into something that you can control. And that's what this whole thing is about. It's about controlling women. It's about making decisions for their bodies and taking away bodily autonomy.
This is Piper Renault reporting for the Kentucky Kernel.
Up next, Keeneland traded photo finishes for heartfelt thanks during their fall meet. Heroes Day took the reins to recognize military members, first responders, and healthcare workers, those everyday heroes who go that extra mile. Reporter Piper Renault takes us to the trackside tribute.
Here at Keeneland, it's not just about the races today, it's about honoring the heroes in our communities. Keeneland Heroes Day celebrates military members, first responders, and their families by granting them free admission and special tributes throughout the day. Heroes Day at Keeneland honors military members, first responders, healthcare workers, and their families at each fall and spring race meets. Heroes and their families receive free general admission and reserved grandstand seating. Throughout the day, there was a special programming on the track, including a flag rollout with the performance of God Bless America and honoree recognitions in the winner's circle. Henry Clay High School's Army Junior ROTC assisted in the flag rollout on the track. Mason Oliveira, a sophomore, talks about why he thinks it's important to have events like Heroes Day.
It's important to celebrate these, to give our thanks and to show how we appreciate them and what they do for us.
Heroes Day not only honors the first responders, military members, and veterans, but also their families. Bailey Watson, whose father was in the Army, talks about what Heroes Day means to her as a child of a hero.
I feel like obviously it's a huge sacrifice for all of our military people and the veterans and people who have served, but it's also a sacrifice for their families. And so I love that they are honoring both those who have served and their families as well. So
the track might be where the races are run, but just up the hill is where the stories live on. The Keeneland Library is home to one of the world's largest collections on thoroughbred history, preserving the legacy of the sport one page at a time. Reporter Chloe Bradley shows us how at Keeneland, it's not just about racing toward the finish line, it's about remembering how the stories began.
If you see images and content that touch on this industry, know that that content very likely came from this library.
Just up the hill from where the horses race and fans come together sits the Keeneland Library, which houses the largest repository of information that is related to the thoroughbred industry. According to Rhoda Ferraro, the director of the Keeneland Library, their resources have come primarily from people who have donated their equine libraries, memorabilia, and photography collections.
We then sometimes will meet folks who will say, have you heard of this? Did you know this? My family did this. My family has these scrapbooks and this memorabilia. And so it's just all these conversations so that we can continue to chronicle and share more stories. And you know, it's not just here for folks now. The goal of doing this is that those stories are here for, you know, folks in the future too.
The Keeneland Library houses many resources that cannot be found elsewhere regarding both the horses within the thoroughbred industry and their connections. Ferraro said having this collection of historical texts solely related to the thoroughbred industry is what sets Keeneland apart.
This was a new concept. Like, racetracks as a rule don't have libraries. You know, it's not something that you see out there that much, but those founders at Keeneland were very committed to preserving the sport for the betterment of what comes next.
According to Ferraro, the library does more than just chronicle and preserve what came historically, but they are also actively trying to keep up with what is currently going on in the industry, which makes the library's content ever growing.
As we do more research, we then build collections, we build those entry points, so the next time somebody asks that question, we're that much more prepared to quickly get our hands on some good information resources for folks. It's a special place to be where you definitely, like on a daily basis, I'm reminded of this convergence of past, present, and future.
This was Chloe Bradley reporting for the Kentucky Kernel.
Hundreds gathered in downtown Lexington on Saturday, October 18th for the second No Kings protest, a nationwide movement pushing back against the current Trump administration. Protesters filled the Robert F. Stevens Courthouse Plaza with chants, speeches, and a march through the city's streets. Let's take a look how the community took part. Today, on Saturday, October 18th, hundreds of people have gathered here outside of the Lexington Courthouse for the No Kings protest. They join over 20 similar protests around the Commonwealth of Kentucky as people speak out against President Donald Trump and his policies.
The Lexington protest, led by the Bluegrass Activist Alliance and Progress Kentucky, is part of a national movement of peaceful protests all held under the name No Kings.
And the man in the White House right now thinks he is a king or a dictator, and that's not what America was built on.
Lexington's Vice Mayor Dan Wu spoke at the event. He said it made him proud that so many Lexington citizens came out in support of the cause.
It's a democracy that we live in, right? People still have a voice. There are still checks and balances. and all those things are being eroded right now.
This is the second No Kings protest held in Lexington this year, with the first being on June 14th. Lily Kraft, a psychology student at Transylvania University, wasn't able to attend the first protest and made sure she was able to come out for this one.
We're not going to back down, as in the sense of we're not going back down until something is done about it. It is our First Amendment rights of our right to protest and our right to speech, free speech.
The organizers were very proud at the turnout of the event, but some, like Progress Kentucky member Christine Meisberger, believe that further action will be needed to spark change.
We can't just make it a one-day event. We have to garner people and get them to get into those daily actions.
From the lights to the layups, player introductions to slam dunks, reporter Gabriella Mercedes shows us how Big Blue Madness is part pep rally, part performance, and 100% Kentucky basketball. Fans got their first look at both the men's and women's teams, setting the tone for another season of Wildcat basketball.
It's the most wonderful time of the year here at the University of Kentucky, and I'm not talking about Christmas. It's Big Blue Madness here at Rupp Arena, which marks the official kickoff to the men's and women's basketball season.
Saturday, October 11th marked another year celebrating the kickoff of the UK men's and women's basketball season with Big Blue Madness. Formerly known as Midnight Madness, the event served as a practice open to the public, where both teams were introduced and showed off their skills and fun exercises. Starting off strong with the women's team, the Wildcats faced off each other as teams blue and white in a friendly competition, such as the Skills Challenge Relay, 2 shooting drills, and the 3-point challenge as a tribute to the Ronald McDonald House in Lexington. Forward number 32, Amelia Hassett, took home the coveted trophy with 25 points in the final round. A brief intermission also allowed both the cheer and dance teams to perform for the crowd in preparation to meet the men's roster. Many new and old faces sent the crowd roaring as they walked into their chosen songs before head coach Mark Pope and Kentucky Basketball Hall of Famer John Wall made their grand entrances. The team also separated into blue and white and started off in a 5v5 scrimmage, with the white team taking home the win 14-12. Rounding out the night was the dunking contest, with guard number 5, Colin Chandler, defending his title, followed by the 3-point contest. Returning forward number 9, Trent Noah, took home the win with 30 points. The Wildcats both returned to the court soon, with the women's team opening their season against Morehead State in historic Memorial on November 3rd, and the men returning to Rupp to face Nichols on November 4th.
Thanks, Gabriella, for that story. Whether it's the first basket or the final buzzer, one thing is for sure: Big Blue Nation is ready for basketball season. Now, college sports are changing fast, and it's not just about what happens on the field. The 2025 Wendell H. Ford Lecture here at the University of Kentucky brought experts together to break down how name, image, and likeness are redefining the future of college sports. Reporter Libby Heckert shows us how NIL is reshaping the game, both on and off the court.
Tonight at the Singletary Center, the 2025 Ford Lecture is diving into one of the biggest topics of college sports: name, image, and likeness. Professionals and former athletes are discussing how NIL will shape the future of college sports.
The lecture explored how name, image, and likeness, known as NIL, continues to reshape college athletics and state legislation. Spiro Mavolis, director and professor at the Martin School of Public Policy, explains why this was the topic of the lecture this year.
We just saw it rapidly evolving so quickly. It's actually like an example of something that happens a lot, like in public policy, is like some issue runs faster than people can keep up with it. And so this was one of those things that was running super fast, and they just started raising all these questions. People would just start asking us, why would the federal government even get involved in this?
Speaker Rob Mangus traced the shift from the days of amateur college sports to the new era of athlete compensation, while raising the question of state interference.
State laws, why don't states do it? Why do states have to be involved? Well, they weren't been involved, as you've heard, since 2019. There's now about 30 states out there that have passed laws.
Panelist Amy Privet-Perko emphasizes the importance of equality within NIL as it grows.
The purpose of NIL compensation was to allow college athletes to be treated more fairly, to be able to receive compensation for the value of their name, image, likeness.
Reporting for the Kentucky Kernel, this was Libby Heckert.
From sketches on paper to models that take shape, UK architecture students are turning vision into reality, one design at a time. Reporter Libby Hecker takes us inside the studio where creativity meets construction.
From early sketches to intricate designs, the University of Kentucky Architecture Department is shaping the next generation of creative minds. What happens in the studio could easily change the way we feel and think about our communities, one blueprint at a time. Within the studios of the Gray Design Building, architecture students spend long days and often nights perfecting their designs. From sketchbooks to digital models, their work is a constant process of creation and revision. But for students like Cassidy Aiken, the challenge is part of what makes the program so rewarding.
It's very, very challenging, but watching yourself grow and as a designer and a critical thinker and a presenter, it's well worth it.
That growth doesn't happen overnight. Students say architecture demands discipline, time management, and a willingness to accept feedback. Every critique is an opportunity to rethink, rebuild, and refine. Inside these studios, collaboration is key. Students often share ideas, troubleshoot problems, and learn from one another's approaches. For freshman Hannah Reniker, that constant back and forth fuels creativity.
What a lot of people don't realize is that there's so much iteration that we do with our projects. So I could start with a very small idea and then it could go to something that's completely different. So I think patience and then a sketchbook.
Professor Lean Katrib says that evolving process from concept to completion reflects what the profession is all about. Each generation of students brings new perspectives and challenges, pushing even professors to think differently about design.
It keeps you humble, and I think I learn from the students sometimes even more than probably they learn from me.
And that shared learning is what defines the University of Kentucky's architecture program, a space where students and faculty grow together, guided by curiosity, creativity, and collaboration. From long nights in the studio to the final presentations that showcase months of hard work, students here aren't just designing buildings, they're designing their futures.
From textbooks to t-shirts, students know how quickly things pile up. But a new store on campus is turning that clutter into something good. The Thrifty Cat recently held its grand opening inside Blazer Dining on UK's campus. The volunteer-run shop is teaming up with UK Recycling to cut down on campus waste while giving students a sustainable way to shop. Reporter Pierce Brogdon shows us how this new shop is giving old items a fresh start.
On Friday, October 17th, the Thrifty Cat held its grand opening at the Blazer Dining Hall at the University of Kentucky. People were invited all over campus to come see the new space, purchase items, or even donate.
The Thrifty Cat is a new service to provide free clothing and items to the UK community with the goal of reducing waste to reach UK's zero waste goals. Olivia Smith, a senior resource and environmental science major, grew the idea through an internship with UK Recycling.
A lot of waste happen at the dorms every year. A lot of things students tend to leave behind, not give much thought to it, purchase it for the year, and then out of sight, out of mind. So I wanted to offer a space for those things to go back to new students on campus.
She pulled inspiration from UK Recycling's annual thrifting pop-up shop and Give and Go program. Ryan Lark, the UK Zero Waste Specialist, worked with Smith to get the project off the ground.
So this is obviously providing an economic resource for students, providing items for free, but it's also fulfilling a waste initiative resource as well.
Smith aims to involve the community by keeping the service completely volunteer-ran.
So I just want to encourage students to participate in secondhand consumerism, get them involved in sustainability.
The service aims to reduce reoccurring student waste to help UK become a zero-waste campus by the year 2030.
October marks Breast Cancer Awareness Month, a time dedicated to education, early detection, and empowerment. One UK staff member knows that message personally. Reporter Isabella Lindsay shows us how Fadia Lowe is using her experience to support and inspire others on campus.
I went in for an annual mammogram at 42 years old, and I thought it was going to be just like any other mammogram. And I felt like something was off because I had more pain in one side than I normally do. Well, then a week later, I got a phone call from a nursing assistant, and she said, you know, they need more pictures. They just didn't have an issue with the technology. I don't know what's up. Like, I wouldn't worry about it. It's probably nothing. About 3 days later, I got a phone call, and I was picking up my daughter from daycare, and I was getting ready to take her to the dentist. And the radiologist calls me, and he says, can you talk? I'm like, well, obviously I can talk. I want to know what these results mean. And he says, unfortunately, we have, it's cancer. You think the worst case scenario when you get diagnosed with breast cancer, you just hear the word cancer and you literally feel like you're frozen in time. I didn't even think twice about it. I kind of just said, okay, I'm going to do this. I have realized just from experiencing something so traumatic how every relationship you have is very important, and how every person that you have in your circle should be invested in. And I think for me, the lesson that I like to share with people is, again, that how precious life is, and how we are not guaranteed to have tomorrow, and that we really have to live every single day as if it's our last. And that means that you are 100% yourself, and you're honest, and you're authentic, and you are you find ways to serve other people. And for me, I just want to leave that kind of legacy for my kids, is that mom never gave up, mom just kept going, and that I want them to say, I want to do what my mom did. I want to keep fighting, and I want to keep saying, here, advocating for what's right. But my priorities immediately became very clear. And they were, you have to really live every single day. You can't just take every day for granted, because you really truly don't know if you're going to be here tomorrow. And that to me was really a shift. And everything now that I invest my time in, all the work that I do, all of the stuff that I do with my children and my family, it needs to be fulfilling. And if it's not fulfilling, it's not for me. What's great is that the amount of times that I get to share my story about being a survivor, and then hearing somebody message me or reading their message or saying, oh my gosh, thank you so much for sharing. And I think for me, that's how I want to give back, is I'm so grateful that I had an opportunity to fight this and move through it, and all the lessons I've learned, but also being able to be there for other survivors who feel like they're alone. You think you do all the right things, but that just goes to show you that breast cancer doesn't discriminate.
Thank you, Isabella, for that inspiring story. Fadia's journey is a powerful reminder of how strength and hope can grow from even the toughest challenges. Next up, reporter Jackson Reddish shows us how the state of the First Amendment address explored how AI can both help and harm our society.
The First Amendment is promised to all Americans, but as time does its course and technology advances, artificial intelligence challenges our First Amendment rights in good ways and bad ways. Students and people gathered at Rosenberg College of Law, grand courtroom for the State of the First Amendment address and the winner of the James Madison Award. Scott Horn, co-director of the Kentucky Open Government Coalition and speaker of this event, gives off pros of having AI.
It made parts of my job so much more rapid. The scale of it was something that wasn't available to me before AI tools.
But Horn also emphasizes the cons of AI and how it affects our freedom of speech.
Right now, they are being weaponized in surveillance and censorship in ways that we should be very concerned about. We, as a society, need to demand that the right for free expression and free speech be preserved in this era of automated censorship.
Horn claims that censorship has been an ongoing issue and has been a problem for almost 10 years. Jay Nolan, winner of the James Madison Award, has fought to protect the First Amendment right from those who oppose it.
Jay has been an outstanding example and a great leader on that front in Kentucky.
Peter Boniak, journalist and friend of Jay Nolan, explains Nolan's efforts in support of free speech and also how admirable it is.
I will defend the Constitution of the United States.
Thanks for that story, Jackson. It's always enlightening to see how artificial intelligence becomes a bigger part of everyday life. Now, to continue this conversation around AI, reporter Isabella Lindsay brings us to the Ideas That Matter panel, hosted by the Lewis Honors College, where they discussed how AI is affecting the classroom.
As part of their Ideas That Matter series, the Lewis Honors College hosted a panel to discuss the future of Earth and AI.
The discussion took place in Lewis Honors College and featured panelists from fields including law, political science, and communication. Speakers explored both the opportunities and ethical challenges that come with rapid advances in AI technology. One of the panelists, Trey Conister, discussed what people need to be critically aware of when using AI.
Look at AI and think about how it's going to affect the way that we communicate, the way that we learn, the way that we connect and relate to others.
Panelists also discussed the growing role of AI in education. While some see potential benefits, Julia Borgstrom, a freshman honors student, spoke on how she sees AI negatively affecting her peers.
And then they get to the test or like exams and they don't know what to do because they've used AI for all their homework.
As AI continues to reshape classrooms and careers, students and teachers alike say it's time to focus on using the technology responsibly.
It was a thrilling night in downtown Lexington as zombies took over the streets for the annual Halloween Festival and Thriller Parade. With music, dancing, and plenty of spooky moves, fans are ready to beat it to the beat of Michael Jackson's classic. Let's take a closer look at the event that had Lexington grooving from beyond the grave. Downtown Lexington turned into a ghoulish spectacle at the Halloween and Thriller Parade, where hundreds of zombies danced and scared their way through the streets while reenacting Michael Jackson's Thriller. The annual parade included music and crowd interaction throughout the night. Dancers began by playing dead in the crowds before coming to life when the song started. Lelania Bailey, an Ola impersonator, felt connected to everyone in attendance in a way she has never experienced before.
Because people from our generations, the little bitty kids that weren't even around when Michael was around, still want to do the Thriller dance, love Michael, love Thriller, so it's like generational. It's something that's going to last probably forever.
Logan Gwen, a dancer in the parade, has returned year after year to experience the Halloween spirit.
It's always my favorite event as a child, so being able to actually perform in it and be in it it's a completely different experience, and it's just so cool seeing the flip side of things.
Not only do attendees return for the entertainment the event brings, but they also get a chance to celebrate musical history. Lamar Desses, a Michael Jackson impersonator, feels connected to Thriller after participating in the parade.
People should come into the parade, not because of Halloween, but to see the history that Michael Jackson has displayed throughout his whole entire life, from the beginning all the way to the end.
Thriller brought participants together in a way they didn't expect and left an impression they will remember for years to come.
Everybody, the zombies, all the Michaels, all the Olas, we have such unity and no culture, no race, no nothing, just everybody is one when it comes to Thriller.
While Halloween is only one night of the year, the celebration at the Halloween and Thriller Parade left attendees thrilled to celebrate the holiday.
Thanks, Olivia, for that thrilling story. And that's all the tricks and treats we have for this episode.
Thanks for watching. We hope you have a happy Halloween and watch out for dancing zombies.
For all things Kentucky Kernel, please go to kykernel.com.
And social media, including X, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify. Thanks for tuning in.
See ya.
Thank you.